Like to close this meeting from 06 board meditation order at 6:03 p.m. Welcome everybody. Please take a look around and note the locations of the emergency exits. And if everyone choose right on the
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call this morning, and just wanted to discuss the entire board. I want to wish you happy annual professionals day and thank you for everything you do. I was going to say that at the Mr. Taylor. Here. Mr. Jackson.
Here.
Mrs. Snyder. Here. Mr. January here. And here it is. Here. Mrs. Rose. Mrs. Perry. Here. Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Superintendent O'Shea.
Yes, thank you, and welcome. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. Every day. So, CSD Mackey, well, business official is going to start us off with our budget presentation.
Good evening, everyone. So a lot of this is refresher. It's not new information. And it'll be the same exact presentation for our So the 24-25 proposed budget is $53.4 million. It's just about a $1.1 million increase, 2.1 increase over the current year. The big story is like it's nicely funded for the increase. So between building aid and state aid, the net increase is just over $900,000, which supports standard control. Property taxes are being increased by 1%, around 170,000 in new revenue, and then the change in finance is about 16,000. Now, the last time we met, we talked about the state budget wasn't yet finalized. That did happen over the weekend. The net change for us was just about $40,000 in foundation aid. That number wasn't increased because expense driven aids can deviate from the projections. It's not a material amount. So I didn't have to for that amount. There were some schools that are going to experience millions of dollars that were restored. It's a big story for them, but we were in good shape to begin with, and so we're just going to continue on as planned. So the proposed levy, it's $18,106,541. That's going to require a simple majority vote, so it's a 50 plus 1% yes vote from our public. And the tax rate is expected to go up about 38 cents. What that means at a home with an assessed value of $150,000, it's under $30 for the year, less than $3 a month. That's before factoring in the basic star assumption. So the basic star assumption is not set by the school district, but that is changing and that is decreasing. So the current year, it's 510, it's going to go down to 481. So this is, that impact is sure that we're requiring basic star to its expenditures. There's a slight change in this versus the last time we met. You'll see an asterisk next to instruction and operations. So we finalized the BOCE's commitment between the last time we met and now, and so we needed to transfer some expenditures into instruction and out of operations. So that was a $230,000 change. Again, adding to instruction and a decrease in operations. That impacts zero. The big stories here are instruction is 56% of our budget. It's 26%. So a trend is high in health insurance. We're looking at a 10% increase to 5% for our accidents. Operations is 11% of our budget. We do have some repair projects that we have on here that we need to attend to, so it's accounting for those. We also are expecting increases in our utility expenditures. Transportation is set from the main CPI, so that's an estimate of our always increasing. Debt service is low, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. That's a 1 year. We're expiring debt, we're going to be borrowing at the end of this year, then it'll go back to normal. But this year, in this year, in this proposed budget, it's artificially low. It's not normally that. So the 3-part budget, this is part of the requirement for our budget hearing. So program this year, the proposed budget is 82.2%. It was about 80%, 79% last year. Capital, that's the item that's artificially low because of the debt service. That's 9.4% and was 12% in the current year. So that's debt service related. And then administrative, that's 8.4% of the budget. Our year was 8.1%, so it's relatively flat. Program costs are our teaching salaries and our benefits, our instructional materials, including textbooks, and our clubs and athletic programs, as well as our BOCES program costs and our transportation. So that's the bulk of it. That's the bulk of our spend. The capital costs are for our maintenance and our custodial staff, our debt service, utilities, insurance, tax cases, etc. And then the administrative costs are for administrative salaries and benefits, of clerical support, curriculum development, professional development, tax collection, legal expenses, and other expenses.
Thank you. So as discussed before, we had a series of needs assessment meetings that are relevant to receiving input from staff. The principal then presented a budget committee, including Mrs. Mr. Jackson for attending. Then they presented it to you and with some work through return on investment analysis, looking at other areas, we then determine who's going to meet on the proposed budget. So at the elementary school, some positions that we had previously funded with the plan grant, they actually use the grant and some positions over last year. And this year, the intervention specialist, and the more saying the this is previously funded to class sizes, so needed to continue. We heard the special programs talking about the monthly functional skills class to be the point where speech teacher, physical therapist, and occupational therapist are part of that. The physical therapist will be looking at the minimums, we need a 0.6, we need a 0.4, so that's also no before for the minimums, so we'll contract for the minimums. So for speech teacher, actually there is a position to the 1.5, we currently have a 0.6, and then the other regional therapist will be looking at schedules to see if that can be done internally or also the other with it social. So as we're going through and then going through the service interviews, we'll have a better understanding of the request for campus safety monitors. That's the was in the position this year at both the high school and the middle school. The model has been really successful and has your concepts in addition to the new officers. So the request was for one in ransom, one in health, and anytime, anytime we need solution or support, we do weekly events and schedule various events. So we also welcome to see what in special education. So this position, typically over the summer, we found out in the position of sexual education. So we have a place where in the budget, if it's not needed, we don't really go, but typically we're getting to this year, and then the BLS as well, kind of able to help all of the community learners, as you might recall last year, we teacher. So at the Rose Middle School, the Dean of Students and the social worker previously funded for therapy. Again, the focus on student social and emotional health, student mental health. 0.4 Spanish teacher. What that does is bring the Spanish position to a 1.5. Our level of students and numbers are increasing in the year 7. So the additional support will be needed. 0.2 PE teacher, that's going to help the middle school expand their unified sports program, and which has been very successful. We're looking forward to that, and then some of that is support. At the high school, the students currently funded through therapy, we will the social workers position last year at the high school, so the high school does have two social workers. Tutoring center instructor started that mid-year, and it has been very successful. To follow a 0.3 special education teacher, bringing special education to 1.2 health teacher. The health teacher at the high school currently almost 0.2 to the middle school. This allows, again, there's an increase in numbers going to the environment. This allows intent. This allows 0.2 to the new, and then some of the support at the high school. So in terms of the departments, the labor and supervision care, how successful that's been, how many students have been. We forgot to put forward currently funded treatment of the parents on the plans how we currently make sure that except for the next for the budget hearing. Uniforms and support.
We talked about the Huddle software upgrade, which will allow our parents to view versus Huddle. Facilities, maintenance mechanic, health and safety, equipment and building repairs, and then IT, Chromebooks, desktops. We did do the next slide a little differently. This looks like not the final version of the slide, so I'm not sure when this was uploaded. Some things were shifted a little bit, but I will speak to that. So the elementary, last time we talked about looking for some potential grants for some of the other positions and also efficiencies. And we were asked to really try to fine tune that a little more. So on April 30th, we will be going to a meeting on resource allocation review process. And through that, there is a resource allocation grant. From what we know currently, one area that can be chosen is providing additional support to students after we go through a process of resource review and looking what's currently in place. So we believe, but it's not certain, that that is how we will be able to provide additional AIS support. The elementary musical club, fantastic junior drama production this year. There are so many students that we're going to break that into also having an elementary hub so more students can participate, and we'll be talking more about that. And that can be funded through one of our title grants that focuses on well-rounded students. So the efficiency would be the year-long chorus. We heard that Van Skyke currently has year-long chorus. because the art and music teacher flip, there is chorus half the year at each of those buildings. But through looking at some scheduling, and maybe an additional 0.02 or 0.01, that not even the 0.1, we should be able to do this. I wanted to talk about the middle school. So AIS is the same potential grant. Social studies and the teacher assistant on the next version of this are in the right-hand column. We are planning on looking at efficiencies first, and then if we can't do it through efficiencies, we believe the teacher assistant, because of the additional social emotional support, can be part of that grant as well. And then Mr. McFarland and I talked about a potential plan for efficiencies for the 0.6 social studies teacher. At the high school, your final slide should say Cohoes High School. The teacher assistant is through the grant, again, the additional support. This person would be working with Edgenuity, formerly known as Apex. And then with the AIS and social studies, the first plan is to look at efficiencies and then and also look at the potential grant as well. So we'll update this slide before the next time. It's actually updated, just not here. Is it updated there?
I think so.
It is up there. So I was looking at this. So there you go. That's right. Don't just look at your paper, Pat. Okay. So what happens if the budget is defeated, basically?
The budget is defeated, the tax levy remains the same. It would require $265,000 in reductions. Unfortunately, all the fun stuff goes away. We still have to pay for legal expenses, anything that's contractual or by statute, and then obviously anything required to maintain, program, preserve our property, and assure the health and safety of our students and staff. So that leaves nothing for fun. So district-wide arts and enrichment programs would be reduced, field trips would be reduced, materials and supplies, buildings and repairs and equipment are not health and safety related, and then conferences and professional development would be impacted. So next steps. Tonight, we're taking action on the budget proposal and the property tax report card. The budget newsletter includes the budget notice, and that is in draft format. It's being finalized this week and it'll be mailed out end of the month, early May. The public hearing will be held in May 8th, and the public vote is May 21st. Our polling locations are all three of our elementary schools, so Abram Lansing, Harmony Hill, and Van Skyke. And we have the polls open at noon and they close at 9 p.m. We are also electing 2 board members to 3-year terms.
Thank you. So before Stacy goes on to her next, any questions on the budget? Okay.
I appreciate you breaking it out like that. You know, I just wanted to be able to visualize and see, and I think it's good for folks who don't really know what these conversations have been. Do we have an idea what the deadline is for voting registration?
It's done.
Done.
It was first 2 weeks after we returned from break.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
It was on the website, yeah.
At each of the elementary schools.
Thank you.
Stacy,
Do we want a good news or?
let's do, well, yours is good news too. So let's do
Yeah,
your
sure.
good news first and then
I'm always happy to share good news. We had our audit committee meeting last week on Tuesday, and we had Michael Wolf present his annual risk assessment. And that's on tonight's agenda, along with the corrective action plan. There were 2 items for corrective action. one for disaster recovery. You have a draft format, so just finalizing that, and then having the board approve that. And then just some recommendations for website transparency, changing some of the reports that are shared on the website. So we'll look to correct that before the end of the year.
If I could just mention, because the disaster recovery plan is confidential, we'll be looking at that in executive session at our last May meeting with recommendation for approval at our June.
We also met with our claims auditor and our deputy claims auditor. We reviewed their process and their checklist and talk about special projects that they've been working on throughout the year. And then I just wanted to take a moment to thank some folks for maintenance and grounds, because we've had a lot of projects going on in the district, and hopefully people have noticed. So there's some pothole repairs at the high school last week, so that was great news. And we also had some tree removal at Page Avenue and at Harmony Hill this week. So thanks to our maintenance and grounds folks. Our head custodian has been coordinating because work began on our fields over at the high school. And so our head custodian has been coordinating with Turner as far as building access procedures. And he's our point of contact on the second shift. So special thanks to Russ for his help there. And then also a special thanks to Colleen McDonald, who is the assistant for facilities, because she's been coordinating all these special projects and dealing with the vendors and renting equipment, et cetera. So a shout out to Colleen for her help with all those projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did say one thing. I want to give Casey a shout out because it is never easy to have multiple staff transitions in here and to get through, to be in a department that you're audited this closely and having an audit like that in this crazy transition year. Just shout out to you and your team. So good job.
Thank you.
So before I go on to upcoming events, you might have heard we had 10 students sing at Carnegie Hall. And not only did they have a wonderful performance, but I wanted Mrs. Carlo to share some good news because they sound like they're wonderful people too.
Well, anytime you hear overnight field trip, you get a little nervous. So I think it was really nice to hear from Mr. Gunn this morning that out of 10 students received compliments from the organization on how just well represented and behaved, and well, they took a break and sat down on the risers. Our kids remained seated and focused on the music. It just really stepped it up and represented the Cohoes community in a nice positive manner. So that was really exciting. The whole experience, I got to go down to the concert, was incredible. And to see our kids dressed up and representing our school community is just one of the highlights. So thank you.
Thank you.
I did hear from another parent that said the same thing, that the whole experience, that she said it was just amazing for our kids. So.
And the Booster Club for pulling it off and helping for, without them, they're huge advocates for our kids. And so I really appreciate everybody that's involved in that Art Booster Club. They really take things to the next level.
So, and have a little more good news to share as part of the upcoming events. But I did want to say that the April 26th is the annual Stop DWI and MAD Day at Cohoes High School. And thank you again for arranging that to make sure our students are aware of important safety concerns. So thank you. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee is on Monday. Petitions for candidates interested in running for the board, May 1st, should be dropped off by 5 p.m. I wanted to talk about the Proctor's Musical Theater Awards too. So on May 4th, they will be deciding at Proctor's who wins who gets the best musical, tier C for Legally Blonde, but we will also be in the running for Best Set Construction and also Best Supporting Actor, Carmen Tarlow. I had been speaking with his mother earlier and she said he definitely gets his acting ability from her. So I'm really for the awards. Two of our students will be presenting in the opening number and the closing number, Carmen Tarlow and Roz Emily. So that will be good to see as well. It is the same day as our senior prom. And then the career fair, the CHS Spring Career Fair. It's a big end of the year career fair in our gym. Many vendors, period 10 and 11. I'm not sure exactly what that translates to into
1:15 to end of day at 2:45.
1:15 to the end of the day. I mean, if you're around and get a chance, it was pretty amazing last year. So, and the Cohoes City School District, of course, has a table there as well. So thank you.
Thank you. I hope, young Mr. Tarlow's mom gets to go see and perform.
Historical video evidence of, said performances by Mrs. Starla.
Oh. Thank you very much for your reports. Any Board of Education discussion on agenda items tonight? No? Community discussion of agenda items? No? Anyone have old business they want to bring back up? Okay. Then can I please have a motion that the Board of Education adopts the following resolutions of the April 24th, 2024 agenda, 6A through M, 7A through L, and 9A?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Mrs. Giller,
Yes.
Jackson. Yes. Mrs. Snyder.
Yes.
Mrs. Gendron.
Yes.
Paradis.
Yes.
Mrs. Carey.
Yes, thank you. Any comments from board members on anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Questions, statements from the audience tonight? Okay, no policy review. Dates for future meetings, May 8th, here in the library, which is also our budget hearing. Yep, thank you. Our annual budget vote and elections, the polls open at noon again. They're open till 9 at the 3 elementary schools on May 21st. And on May 22nd, we'll gather here at 6 p.m. to certify the results of the vote. All right, can I please have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, or removal of a person or corporation, and to discuss the negotiation.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Giller,
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes.
Mrs. Gendron.
Yes.
Paradis.
Yes.
Mrs. Carey.
Yes, we don't expect to reconvene. Thank you.